Hi, VencoreWeather.com. Meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, February 9th. Well, the overall weather pattern looks like it's shaping up to be quite stormy and quite cold over the next few weeks. Multiple Arctic air outbreaks, multiple storm threats. We have a light precipitation event today and tonight, but because temperatures are at or below freezing in many parts of the I-95 corridor, it could become quite tricky on untreated surfaces with some ice buildup or perhaps even some snow overnight tonight before this precipitation event winds down. Another blast of brutally cold Arctic air will arrive in the Mid-Atlantic region late Thursday night. That'll be accompanied by strengthening winds, snow showers, perhaps even a heavier snow squall or two, and then single digits will be quite common up and down the I-95 corridor by the time early Friday morning rolls around. Following that, a clipper system with another Arctic blast behind it. Looks like it'll arrive late Saturday night time frame. Again, perhaps with strong winds, snow showers, maybe in a heavier snow burst or two late Saturday into the early part of Sunday. It stays very cold and windy behind that on Sunday. Well, let's start off by looking at the current surface isobar pattern here in the northeastern U.S. Notice this little dip in the pattern right here. That is indicative of basically high pressure to the north and east pushing colder air down into the I-95 corridor. Most of the wind barbs here are showing a low-level flow now out of the northeast or east in the D.C., Philly, and New York City metro regions. Colder air returned overnight, gradually filtering in the region today. And even more importantly, perhaps, it's filtering in at upper levels of the atmosphere. That will cause a general trend of plain rain this morning to change to more of a frozen type precipitation this afternoon, at least north of the Mason-Dixon line. So plain rain this morning that could freeze on some surfaces in the Philly suburbs, and then more of a sleet freezing rain mix this afternoon. And then finally, all this precipitation could change to some light snow, at least north of Pennsylvania-Maryland border overnight tonight. Perhaps a little bit of accumulation, Philly north and east across New York City, 1 to 2 maybe by later tonight of snow and ice accumulations in New York City, a coating to an inch perhaps in Philly. Even in D.C., the plain rain that falls on occasion during the day today is very likely to change to a wintry mix of freezing rain and sleet tonight. Possible slick spots on some untreated surfaces down there as well. Yesterday, by the way, Reagan National Airport right here topped out at 68 degrees, tying a record for the date. Of course, considerably colder today, and again, by tonight, there can be a wintry mix down in the D.C. metro region. Well, here's the latest radar loop from NOAA. And again, this is not a major precipitation event in the New York City, Philly, or D.C. metro regions, but just enough light precipitation throughout the day today and tonight to cause some problems as temperatures already are well below freezing in New York City. Last report had 25 degrees at Central Park. They will not see the freezing mark today. It'll hold in the low to mid-20s there. Around freezing in the southeastern part of Pennsylvania. Again, temperatures will hover the freezing mark in the Philly metro region, but it'll turn colder and colder as the day progresses in the upper part of the atmosphere. So any plain rain that falls this morning is likely to become more and more of the frozen variety of precipitation, namely sleet, later on this afternoon. And then ultimately some light snow is likely in southeastern Pennsylvania across to New York City. In D.C., some light plain rain this morning will continue into the afternoon, but by the end of the afternoon, especially early tonight, it can become cold enough down there for the plain rain to change to a wintry mix of freezing rain and sleet. Well, let's kind of walk through this current precipitation event using last night's North American Mesoscale, the NAM model run, the 0Z model run, showing the 1,000 to 500 millibar thicknesses. This is the thickness of the air mass in the lower half of the atmosphere. And generally, the thickness is correlated quite well with temperatures in the lower part of the atmosphere. Notice this blue line right here cutting across the northern half of Pennsylvania. That is pretty typical of where the freezing line is at the surface and in the lower part of the atmosphere. And Don't want to really focus in on where this is, but just a general trend on how that'll drop to the south and east as the day progresses. This is the current look, basically the 12-hour forecast from last night for early this morning. Then we'll look at 6-hour increments beginning now with early this afternoon. And here we go by early this afternoon. That blue line here, the 540 line on the 1,000 to 500 millibar thickness, starting to move now a little bit south and east of where it was earlier today. Notice a little bit of low pressure here, a couple areas of low pressure depicted by the NAM model. Again, not a lot of precipitation, but you don't need a lot to get some slick conditions with, especially on untreated surfaces. Let's now jump ahead to early tonight. And here we go by early tonight. That blue line here, kind of the freezing line here in the lower part of the atmosphere, now all the way to southern Pennsylvania. Again, during the day, it slowly progresses to the south and east, basically indicating the atmosphere is cooling off, at least at the mid-levels of the atmosphere is cooling off in the I-95 corridor. Still some precipitation. Now, by this time, it should be a freezing rain or sleet event here in southeastern Pennsylvania, perhaps changed by this time to light snow. For the most part, snow here in New York City now. In D.C., any plain rain could become a wintry mix by the end of the afternoon, and especially early tonight. Let's jump ahead another 6 hours. And here we go. This is just after midnight. By this time, that blue line now cutting across southern New Jersey and the D.C. metro region. Low pressure with a decent amount of precip just to the south of the I-95 corridor here, but still some light precipitation, probably in the form of snow here at this time. Again, this is about 1 o'clock in the morning. Light snow here falling in southeastern Pennsylvania, a wintry mix, perhaps even ending as a touch of snow down in the D.C. region, but more likely a wintry mix down there at this time, and light snow across New York City again. Not a big precipitation event, but enough to cause some problems later today and especially tonight as temperatures get to below freezing and stay there all night long. Well, finally, I wanted to end with a forecast map from last night's 0Z NAM model run for Thursday morning. This is the 84-hour forecast from last night's NAM. And this is just an impressive Arctic blast coming our way late Thursday night. I'm kind of concerned it could be some heavier snow squalls as this Arctic front blasts through the region. Low pressure come Thursday morning will be situated over the eastern Great Lakes with a strong frontal system and just a very cold air mass on its heels. That front will cause winds to increase later Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. Some snow shower activity, perhaps even a heavier snow squall or two, especially north and east of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. By Thursday night and into early Friday, another blast of brutally cold air, single digits, quite common early Friday morning in the suburban areas of the big cities along I-95 with this yet another Arctic blast. Following that, there'll be another strong clipper system. Looks like it'll arrive associated with another Arctic blast. Maybe Saturday, late Saturday, Saturday night, early Sunday. That could cause some snow in the mid-Atlantic region. Strong winds and another brutal cold air mass will follow that for the end of the weekend and the early part of next week. So all in all, quite a stormy and cold-looking pattern for the next few weeks. Multiple storm threats and multiple Arctic air outbreaks. That's it for now. For EventCoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.